Yo, and we're back with another episode. This time I'm talking with my longtime friend and someone I've always looked up to, Jase Suttie, six-time world Muay Thai and kickboxing champion, founder of Elite Thai Kickboxing, and now certified Wim Hof instructor. What's up, Jase?
Hey, man. What's up? Lockdown's up.
I know, bro. How many times have you had to move your King of the Ring promotion now?
So this is the second time. This is the second time that it got cancelled the weekend of the show.
Yeah, that's right. That was before the 86, right? Cruiserweights.
Yeah, so that's this one. And remember, there was another one. I can't remember. It was like the same weekend, or the next week was going to be the show. This lockdown was this weekend was going to be the show. The weekend of lockdown.
How are you dealing with those logistical changes? Has it been stressful, or you kind of had systems in place?
No, we didn't have systems in place because it's like an earthquake, right? So you couldn't plan it. We're just lucky that the people there are people that could have stung us for something that we had ordered for that weekend, like the stadium, like the food, and they just came and like just chopped down things as much as they could. But we there's still money that we lost. But it could have been worse. So we're okay. We're happy.
I'm glad to hear.
A lot worse.
I'm glad to hear that, man, because it would have been hugely financial stressful if you had to pay for the full venue cost and
100%,
costs.
100%.
So we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We're talking about your promotion,
recent event,
King in the Ring. But for those who aren't familiar with your journey, you started Muay Thai martial arts, which is what you became famous for. What, as a teenager?
I started 17 years old. I was in Thailand. I went on a school exchange program, AFS, American Field Service Scholarship, and I applied for that. I went there just to learn the language. Went into a school, learned the language, learned flower making, and in my free time, morning and night, I went with the poor kids to this physical education college, and a guy there who teaches to like AIT, teaches Muay Thai to AIT. In the morning and night, taught the poor kids that couldn't afford to train, and so I went and joined them.
And you were studying Thai language at the same time? Do you still speak Thai?
Yeah, still speak fluently. Yeah.
And what other languages do you speak?
Then I speak Samoan, Thai. My Samoan, my Thai, and my English are on pretty much the same level. And then I used to, I went to university through to stage 2, Māori, and I used to speak Tongan fluently.
It's 5 languages.
And I get around. I was pretty good in Japanese. I wouldn't say fluent, but I could get around by myself where everyone was speaking Japanese. I've lost that. I've lost a bit of that because that was a long time ago.
Let's talk about that once we finish this Thailand chapter. So you started training in Thailand at 17. Was this in Bangkok?
No way. I was right in the northeast, next to the Mekong River, next to the Lao border.
Like Isan?
Isan, yeah, in a place called Udontani.
Right. And you fought there, or just got into the passion of training?
No. I went there as an exchange program. And then I said, I want to fight. And my teacher found out that, he thought, he's pretty good. He's talented. So then we asked the American Field Service, can we fight? They've never had anyone fight before. So they said, yeah, okay, fight. So then there was banners. It was massive in this town, Udontani. Then there was about 1 million people. I think there's close to 2 million people there now. Anyway, so then there was this big show. I was the main fight. The main fight, Jase and Suttie from New Zealand fighting Manunchai. Manunchai was 72 kilograms. He was 30 years old then, which was pretty old for a Thai, and very heavy. So he'd only had about 40 fights. 40 fights. It was my absolute first fight where we're fighting full Thai rules, 5 3-minute full professional round, 5 3-minute. And it was massive. There was banners in town. but I came from a background of I had a lot of fights in the playground, a lot of fights on the league field, a lot of street fights. I was a bad-tempered man, and so I was like, oh yeah, sweet, I can do this. Just another form of fighting. It was hard. I went the distance, 5-3s, full professional, full tie rules, and I lost on points.
Wow. I didn't realize that it was a full,
Yeah,
5x3, full with the elbows when you were just a kid.
Yeah.
What kept you loving it after that experience? You just love the experience, or you love the tradition?
I love the experience. I love the challenge of a one-on-one fight. There's no one else to rely on, no one else you can put the blame on. It's all on you. So I like that. And it controlled my temper. I'd had such a bad temper up to before I learned how to fight. I could not control my temper. I used to fight a lot for anything because I just had a bad temper. And learning how to fight taught me how not to fight. So I just kept doing it because it, like your t-shirt says, hardcore, it truly saved my life. Because I believe I would have been in jail for murder, just because I used to go so excessive when I used to fight that I probably I probably would have beaten someone to death because I was scared. And when you're scared fighting, you go overboard because you're scared because you don't know if you're going to win or not. And things as you get older, you get stronger, you get better. And you become a better fighter, you hit harder, man. Someone was going to get seriously hurt. If it wasn't me, someone else was. So learning how to fight, I came back. I joined Balmoral League where I met you. And man, it changed my life. And ever since I met it, it's never left me. I've chased it. I've chased Thai boxing around my whole life.
Where do you think your insecurity or your fear and your temper came from? Like what was behind that?
I was small. I was half caste. Well, you'd never been taught to fight, so my insecurities came from. I thought maybe I might get a hiding, so I fought for my life. My temper, I don't know where my temper came from, man. I was just bad-tempered.
Being mixed race in the 90s, was that part of that equation?
Well, I didn't like Samoans because the Samoans called me white. They called me Palangi. I didn't like the white people because they called me coconut. I didn't like the Māoris because they called me coconut. I just was stuffed up. I just created all these problems in my own head.
Do you think it's different now? Because you've got, how many kids you got now, bro?
4.
You got 4. Yeah, it's hard to keep up. You got 4 kids. Do you think things are better now for kids of mixed race heritage who are Palangi, Samoan?
I think so, absolutely. I mean, it's still out there. There's still racism out there. There's still shit going on, but it's totally better for them because everyone's conscious about these problems and they talk about it. And they're trying to bring Maoritanga back in. That's coming a lot stronger. So Kiwis are aware that this is not, that this is a multicultural country. So I think it is better because you won't be discriminated against so much because everyone is aware of it now. We talk about it.
Yeah, and I also think that what I've observed is that back when we were kids growing up, you never saw people of color in TV or advertising or in the media in a positive light, right?
Yeah.
But now you have a lot of representation in the media, and I think that's a really positive thing for like young people of color to see themselves represented positively in the world around them, huh?
Yeah.
What was Balmoral like in the 90s? Because you guys really were the first.
Balmoral, man.
You were like the first big gym in New Zealand that put us on the map, huh?
First big gym, and if you see it, it's, it. Like for people that haven't seen it, It was just this little hall, little space under the church that I don't know what it was for the church. Had a kitchen, had a toilet, and it was just a small wooden hall where we could fit 20 people maybe.
Yeah, on a busy night.
20 people, but it just, man, it was just all the best were there, man. All the best were there. A lot of was young. He was enthusiastic. He's a good, smart trainer. And we just trained like animals, man.
I remember when I rolled up, I was this real skinny high school kid. And I've been doing taekwondo for a while with like semi-contact fighting and stuff, had a bunch of those. And I started Muay Thai and I was like, oh shit, this isn't super next level. Because we sparred so hard back then as well.
Yeah.
Like no one took it easy on you just because you were new or because you were smaller. It was, in a lot of ways, I would not, as a coach now, get my students to spar that hard that often.
Yeah.
But for me, it was good personally because it made my spirit strong. Like it lifted my self-esteem up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 100%. I remember thinking, Billy Scanlon, when I used to remember thinking, shit, if that punch had hit me, I would have hit the roof, man. Roof's not that high.
I remember sparring Trishima Pikator, who's now one of the top coaches at City Kickboxing. I was 70 kilos. I was 140 kilos, and he was just chopping my legs off, man. I had to like take the day off school the next week, you know.
Yeah, wow.
But those are good memories to have. For those who are listening to this podcast and they're not familiar with Muay Thai kickboxing, Balmoral Liga is the gym that people like Ray Sefo, Jason Suttie here, Ray's little brother Ronnie came from.
Jason Moore, Philemon Dyson Caresu. Gee, who else? Man, yes. Rebel.
Yeah, John Conway.
Yeah.
And then you would have all the other top dudes from City Liga, like Chopper Chapman and stuff, come down and spar Tuesdays, Thursdays. It was really the hub of Muay Thai and kickboxing, and really paved the way for all the other gyms, I would argue.
It was then, and we'd probably there might have been probably, I don't know, 5 to 10 New Zealand titles held at the same time in that gym.
Yeah.
I know Jason Vermore, myself, Dyson, Philemon, Ronnie, Mike Rickson, I think Joe Conway, like everyone had a title. Like shit. I mean, it must have been like, man, more than that, maybe 5 to 12 titles held at one stage, all at the same time at Balmoral.
And then I guess that is the sort of culture that a lot of the trainers at City Kickboxing have taken, I suppose, right? If we think City Kickboxing's our gym on the world stage the most now, do you think that's part and parcel of the equation?
Yep, 100%. Man, we all came from that one good stone, eh?
yeah. It's like the main stud horse was Balmoral, and we all come down from that lineage. Was your experience in Japan after? So you started at Balmoral, were fighting Balmoral, doing really well, and then you went to Japan. How did that work out?
Oh, good, man. So I went to Japan. I actually just went to Japan to visit a mate that was working in this bar where like it was half foreigners and half Japanese. And I stayed there for 2 weeks, and he was like, "Oh, come back. You can get a job over your Christmas holidays." So I'll go back on my Christmas. I was at university, and I'd get like, well, I don't know, it was like 10-week break or something. And I'd go over there and I'd work in this bar. And then I found this kickboxing gym, Ihara Dojo, in Ibisu, and so I'd run to work. I'd run home from work in the morning, go home, sleep most of the day. I'd wake up, I'd go to this gym, and I'd train at this gym, and then I'd go to work. But then the gym said, "Oh yeah." So then I had a fight there. I had a fight there before I left over one holidays, and then I started getting paid to go back. They were paying my airfare, paying for me to fight, So then I did that, and what did I fight? 7 or 8 times there.
What weight class you then? Was this super middleweight?
72, yeah.
Oh, 72, light. You're...
Yeah, middleweight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was fighting Japanese. I fought 2 Thais there, and I can't remember. Was it 6 or 7 fights? And then I fought some of the best of the Japanese. I fought the top 72. Well, there was Tai Kin. He was a little bit higher. He was in the K1, but I fought everyone under him. And how I got into the K1 is I challenged him on through this Japanese magazine. I challenged him, and so what they did is they put me with the guy that beat him, that won the K3. There was a K3, 75 kilograms, 8 of the top in the world, and this guy Ivan Hippolyt, he won it. He won it. Chung Puk was in it as well, and you remember Chung Puk? I used to watch him on TV. Southpaw. He's the one that does the kick punch. That's where I get the kick punch from.
I know the technique. I don't know the fighter.
So it's Chung Puk. So Ivan Hippolyt beat him in the final. So what they did, because I challenged the Japanese guy, because I think I would have been comfortable fighting him, but they put me with the top in the world, Ivan Hippolyt. I think they were putting to test whether I beat him or not. Then they put me with Tai Kin. Anyway, that was my ticket to the K1, and so I was fighting the number 1 in the world. He won the K3, and I fought him and I beat him.
How did the fight go? How was your mental state before that?
My mental state is comes to fighting. I'm all right. I'm great with fighting. I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy the stress. So I'm good. I prepare well mentally. There's not a problem. So we did it. Fight went well. Can't remember, I dropped him once or twice. It was a good, hard fight. And he was one of my idols. So when I was in Thailand, a couple of years earlier as a AFS student, I used to watch Ivan Hippolyt, Raymond Decker, Chung Puk on TV in Thailand, fighting.
Oh, wow.
Here I am fighting him. A couple of years later, I'm fighting him, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, there's that saying, train until your idols become your rivals, right? And then you were doing it. Yo, that's sick. And that was your pathway into the K1?
Yep, that was my pathway into the K1. And I was in and out of university. So I was just going there like for 8-10 weeks over my university holidays. And then I got into the K1. I fought in the K1. I was the first Kiwi in the K1. I remember Lolo and Ray were in the front rows, and I was listening to their calls from the front row. There's 14,000 people there. 14,000 people, but I can hear my original trainer. I had my Japanese trainer in the corner. So Lolo and Ray weren't allowed to come in the corner because I was fighting out of a Japanese gym. But I was listening to their calls in the front row.
So you were actually in K1 before Ray Siffel was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. But at a smaller weight class.
Yeah. So I fought Ivan Hippolyt. He won at 75. I fought him at 79.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I think Lolo and Ray were there negotiating Ray's contract to join the following year. So I was in there in 1996. I think Ray started in 97, and he was contracted.
Yeah, right. Which is the year I started at Balmoral, 1997.
Oh,
yeah, right. Because a lot of people who might be listening to this might be more familiar with you after you moved up to super heavyweight to fight in the K1 Grand Prix.
Yeah.
What year was that you moved from super middleweight, which is, if anyone who's listening to this or watching this, that's my size, like an average size dude, to super heavyweight.
76. So I used to walk around at 86, but I don't. So, I started when I went to Thailand, I was 95 kilograms.
But you got down to 72.
95 kilograms, rugby, rugby league, you eat, you drink, you do weights. Okay, you're not trying to lose weight, you're trying to put on weight. So I was between 90 and 95, and then I got down to I don't know, about 76, 77. And then I weighed in at 72 and fought at 72. Yes, I had a few fights at 72. Then I went back. So when I was in New Zealand, when I was fighting at 76 and 79, I was walking around about 86.
Okay.
Walk around about 86. I'd lose. I'd get down to 80, and then I'd dehydrate, and I'd starve, and I'd jump on the scales at 76.
Yeah. And then to get to when you decided to move up to super heavyweight, it was the opposite.
So when did I move up? That was 70 in 1996. I won my first world title. That was at 76 kilograms, I think, 76, 75. Danny Bennett, I fought that American guy, Danny Bennett. Danny Bennett, the reason I brought him was he fought a year or two earlier against Eddie Tonglei. I don't know what the title was, but he stopped Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
In the first round. So Lolo said, let's bring this guy. So we brought that guy. Because, he had, he was good fighter. He was an MMA fighter and a kickboxer in America. And it just, Eddie was the best before I got to that weight. So we thought that was a good, legit title to have. I ended up stopping him. But, yeah. Hey, and just talking about this guy, he's 50 now. I'm 48. He's 50, and he just messaged me the other day, and he said, "Oh, he's going to give another fight at 50."
Who? This Eddie Bennett guy?
Danny Bennett. Yeah.
Oh, Danny Bennett.
Yeah, from the States. Yeah, he's going to have another fight at 50. Ain't he lucky?
Well, and did he want to fight you, or did he just letting you know that that's what was
No,
up?
no, he's got an opponent. It was just because we were, we fought and
kept in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wow. A lot of these dudes are doing that now. Did you see the Holyfield fight the other day?
No, but I heard.
Oh, it's terrible, bro. Like they shouldn't have let him fight,
Nah.
I think a lot of, because there's...
Well, how did he look? What do you mean it was terrible? Why was it terrible?
He looked terrible. Like he can't... I'll send you a video after this, but like his motor skills weren't there. Like they were in his prime, like he looked slow and uncoordinated. And he looked like an old man, like even hitting the mitts in the open workout, you know what I mean? Like it's really, I think, man, like fighters always want to fight. Like, do you think about fighting every day?
I'm okay with sparring.
Yeah. But you miss it though, right?
Yeah, I've sparring is my fix now. I don't need to get in the ring anymore. Right. I just need to jump in with my fighters and have a good spar. And sometimes when there's new people, I remind them. I say, hey, don't spar me hard. Don't spar me with any ego. You guys spar me light and technical. You can pick it up with other people, but not me. I'm not. I've had my head hit enough times. I need to keep my brain for my kids.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear you say that. I've had half the fights you've had, and I'm the same, just the injuries and you do start losing not your memory. Oh yeah, your memory bit, But if I'm honest,
you 2 minutes ago, yeah.
I'm just bad at people's names, you know what I mean? And a lot of that's all from sparring, not from fighting. And like I said, I didn't fight anywhere near as much as you did. But going back to Holyfield, a lot of there's that whole Triller series, pay-per-view series. There's a lot of money to be made. Social media is hyped up celebrities and hyped up MMA fighters who can come across to boxing, and there's money to be made. But I really think commissions need to do a better job of protecting old fighters from themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Because how many old fighters do you know who just didn't manage their money well, or they retired and there's just a big emotional void in their life that nothing could fill. And so they come back and try and get a bit of that limelight again. But yeah, it was sad, man. So to get back to your career, you moved from super middleweight to light heavyweight to super heavyweight to start fighting in the K1.
I went from 79, 76, 79, 86, 95, and then super heavyweight.
And that was the end of your career at super heavyweight. And you were really gunning for the K1 Grand Prix, right?
My dream was the Grand Prix in Japan. I wanted to fight in the top 8 of the world. I never got there. I never got there, but I chased it for probably my last 5 years of my career, and it was good to have a dream, because there was a dream of making $1 million in one night. I mean, I chased it. I never got there, but it's all good, man. Life was good chasing that dream. Life was good and healthy. I got a lot of privileges on the way, because I was the main card usually on the K1, which was live on TV on a Saturday night. I don't know if this is true, but I remember Dixon McGyver, the promoter, he used to tell us that it used to outrate the rugby on a Saturday night, which is pretty amazing.
Wow, especially for back then, because this is before UFC made fighting as
Yeah,
popular as it is now. That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there used to be like those tabloid newspapers, The Truth and stuff, would profile all the fighters, and
Yeah.
and they had it on television. And that's been a big deal for you to get King of the Ring, your tournament, which is a similar format, back on free-to-air TV, huh? So that
man.
That must feel really satisfying for you to give.
It sure is, man. But what's satisfying is sometimes hardcore is, you'll get a fighter that'll come the next day, they'll text you the next week. They go, man, I got 100 more. I got 100 more people on my Instagram, or 100 more. I was out last night and someone saw me on TV. The bartender and wouldn't let me pay for drinks. These are the privileges that I got, and that's what I wanted to share with other fighters. That just for people to appreciate their heart and their skill, and when you can offer them things, you do, and that was cool, man.
To go back to your career, tell people about the time that you had a motorcycle accident and then you had to fight 3 people in one night.
That was my biggest, hardest build up ever. So I was in Thailand, and it was 7 weeks. We were in on a holiday.
What year was this?
2004 or 5. The Grand Prix. It was a Grand Prix, man, and you had this accident. Got all these painkillers. Got on. We were in Thailand. Got the wheelchair. Got the wheelchair to get to the airport. I mean, I wasn't. Nothing was broken, but I had grazes on every joint because I had slid. So I had them on my knuckles, my elbows, my shoulder, my head, my knees, my toes. Got back to New Zealand, went to A&E. They fixed me up, and they said, "Oh yeah, you're not going to be able to train for 6 weeks." And I said, "Train for 6 weeks? I'm fighting in 6 weeks." And they're like, "No, you can't. You won't be able to do it." So anyway, for 1 month, hardcore, 1 month, I went to A&E every day. So I'd train and I'd go every day, and I'd change all the bandages on my head, on my knuckles, on my elbow, on my shoulder, on my knee, on my toes, because it was skimmed off so bad. I mean, there's part of my tattoo is gone. That's how deep it was. And I'd change those every day. And when I used to take my bandages off, and I put my wraps over, to take them off after I trained, all the bandages were sticking to my knuckles. It was painful. It was sore, but I did every day for 1 month. On the last 2 weeks, because I had 6 weeks, I think I went twice a week to change my bandages. And then when I fought, and you had to get fit, like really fit, and then you got to go along with all that shit. And then when I fought, I remember like bandages were, because I had my toes bandaged up because it was so deep and there was blood. I remember at one stage there was bandages flying off into the crowd, because I was still so bandaged up. But that was hard, and I lost. I got stopped by Paul Swinsky in the third fight, but I made it, man. That was a hard build up.
You fought Paul Swinsky 2 or 3 times, right? I've seen you knock him out in Adelaide.
I fought him twice. Yeah,
so he stopped you once and you stopped him once.
Yeah, but when he stopped me, I was up in 4 seconds. I was up, but they called it off anyway. But when he kicked me, I went like I was out from here to here. But when I hit the ground, I woke up and flopped over on my knees and stood up and fought. But I understand, because I was out from there to there, so he just called it off straight away. But I actually got up in 4 seconds.
You had a real rivalry with another top Australian fighter, Peter the Chief Graham. I think you guys fought 5 times. Is that right?
Yeah, 5 times.
Are you guys friendly now? I'm always
We're,
curious about
we're
that.
good friends. We're good friends, man. You know, after we'd fought 5 times, there was a lot of tension because it was me or him that was going to win the Oceania, and then get to Japan. So that we're fighting for 30 grand there, but it's going to change. And we're making what, 5 to 7 grand a fight, or 5 to 10. But if you got to Japan, that's going to go to 10 for the US a fight up, I believe. So it was going to be the game changer. So we weren't very friendly with each other then. But after the 5th time we fought, I went to Australia, and I trained there for 2 months. I trained at the Bulldog Gym, and he's had a hard life. Peter Chief, he lives in Redfern. Didn't have his mum and dad, so he used to come over once a week, and Anna would cook for us, and we became quite tight. And he just loved coming over for home cooked meals because he'd never got it. So once a week he'd come over, have dinner, and we're good mates. We're good mates now.
That's such a nice story. I don't think people outside of fighting necessarily understand the closeness that you can get with the people that you were once trying to knock unconscious, right? It's kind of quite a special relationship. What's he up to now? Is he still coaching or fighting or?
Yeah, he's married, 2 kids, and he runs the gym, yeah.
Yeah, nice. You also had another rivalry with a Thai opponent whose name I forget, but I'm sure you fought 3 times.
Who was that? Oh, was that? Yeah. What was his name? Balia or something?
Remember he dropped you maybe 4 times one fight, and you came back and had to stop him to win. At the Mandalay, would have been like late 90s.
No, so he never got any 8 counts on me. No, never got any 8 counts, man. No. So that one was no. I think the fight you're talking about was, I don't think did I stop him? No. Oh yeah. I dropped him 3 times in the first 2 rounds.
That's right.
And then he killed me for the next 3 rounds. But because I didn't drop, I was ahead on points. But I remember they put my hand up, and I said, nah, bullshit. He won, because I felt like I got killed for 3 rounds. But I dropped them twice, and then Sifu jumped in the ring, and he started explaining the points to me. He goes, no, he only won 3 rounds. That's 3 points. You got 3 8 counts. So you got 7 points. So that's 3 in 1 round, and another 2 in another round. So you're up 5. It's 5 points to 3. But I was like, oh, okay. I was so stuffed, but I just thought, no, I felt like I got a hiding, but I didn't know the system of the points then.
Oh, really? How long did you fight before you understood the points of the sport you were in?
Well, I only learned that from then.
From then, really?
Yeah. From that, because I was like, I had to figure it out after. Yeah, no, I didn't know. And so now I always explain the point system to my fighters, because it's good to know system, because that even if you kill the guy in that round and he doesn't drop, you might, if you don't tell him, you think you're up by 2 or 3 points, but you're only up by 1 point.
Yeah.
So it's good to know the system, because I think you know what you got to do to win, and you don't complain when you lose.
When did you retire from fighting? What year was that?
It was the year of the Grand Prix. I'm pretty sure that was my last fight, 2005.
And why? Why did you give it all up?
My neck. I had a prolapse disc in my neck, and it came out, and I couldn't lift my left arm. So I was losing my left arm because that C6, C7 in your neck controls your left arm. And I was in like horrible pain, like horrible nerve pain, because the disc has come out and your bones are squeezing on the nerve. It was horrible. Like it's worse than a tattoo, because it's inside your bones. There's nothing you can do to alleviate the pain. So I did that. I did an operation, and I walked around a stiff neck brace, and I was out for a year. I came back, I fought again. I had another 4 fights. And then my right arm, I started to lose feeling in my right arm. And I started to lose power in my right arm. Went and got another MRI scan. And the doctor goes, no, that's it, Jase, you're finished. I can't put another titanium plate and pins next to each other in your neck. And it's the neck disc. If you get hit in the wrong way, you'll lose everything from your neck down. So I retired. Reluctantly, I retired, went for a bit of depression, went to a counselor, and everything started to go right from the first day that I saw the counselor. But I saw the counselor for a year.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. A lot of people retire even without careers as successful as yours, and there's just such a huge gap in their life, and what fills that is depression or alcohol or drugs or drama or all of the above. Was that true for you?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, man. It was like, if I can say it, yeah, I can say it. My whole life was gone. I had a daughter, I had a wife, but that's what I knew longer than them. That's what I fell in love with before them. So it was gone, man. The first love of my life was gone, and it was heavy, man.
How did your depression affect your marriage and being a dad?
My wife moved out for a little bit. She moved out for a little bit, and she didn't know that I was depressed. So I was like, "Yeah, no." She didn't know then. It was new to both of us, and I just said, "Man, I was depressed. I'd lost everything. I'd lost everything." But once I saw the counselor, things started straightening up. I started getting on track again, and she came back.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool. What was the advice that your counselor gave you? Can you remember?
No, hell no. No. But what I do remember hardcore is that she said to me, I get a lot. I get sports players in here a lot. I get rugby players, like high profile rugby players in here, because it's the same for all of us. Like, that was the main thing in our life. That was our identity, and it's gone.
Yeah, I think we need to do a better job of helping future-proof athletes, like helping top professional athletes have a plan for when they eventually have to finish.
It would be very helpful.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's doing that good a job of that as far as I know. Although I see guys like some of our top MMA guys being real smart with their money or building up businesses alongside their career, or opening gyms while they've still got a profile.
It's good to see, eh?
What's that, bruv?
It's good to see.
It is good to see. I see guys like Dan Hooker and Israel and those, or like fighters of your own, like Victor and stuff, who are at a really high level, Victor Mechkov, but they put themselves through law school while they're fighting, so they've got something to go back to, or something to move into once that the passion of fighting fades, their bodies don't let them do it anymore. So you've moved from fighting in over 100 fights at an incredibly high level, globally famous. You go through this period of depression. Now, as well as running your gym, Elite Thai Kickboxing, you're a Wim Hof instructor.
Yeah.
How did that transpire?
How did it transpire? Well, it just started. So I used to go and get tattooed, and he always used to play these documentaries. So it was awesome. I was growing my brain while I was getting tattooed, lying there, not doing any work, spending money, but it's all good. I'd grow my brain. He used to play these awesome documentaries. Well, one was I don't know how long it was, of Wim Hof swimming in the glaciers. It was all glaciers around him, and he's swimming. And I was like, wow, that guy's tough. I just saw the mental side of it. And I said to him, man, it's cool. Who's that? He goes, Wim Hof, you just got to get in the cold shower for 2 minutes. I was like, sweet, I got to get up to 3 minutes. And it was cold. And then in a few days, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, I was into a 3-minute cold shower. And I was like, told my students, hey, man, do this. This is an easy way to strengthen your brain on your own. Cold showers. No one's able to use a warm shower at the gym. And then 2 weeks later, I started Googling the guy. I knew nothing about him. Googled him, Found out he's got this method, Wim Hof Method. I bought the app. It was like €6 or something then. Bought the app. And then he had these 10-week online courses. I did 2 of the 10-week online courses. Then he was running a workshop in Australia. So I got a few of the boys from the gym. And we went to Australia, did this workshop in Australia that Wim Hof ran. That was cool. And now, because I'd done this 10-week online course, I'd been accepted to do my advanced, which was in Holland, but I was like, nah, I can't afford that. Can't afford the time away from the gym and the family. But there was a scientist that was there talking after Wim Hof. And he was saying, yeah, I was here to debunk Wim Hof. I didn't think it was real, that he was saying what was happening, that you can tap into your autoimmune system, that you can get in. And then so it was this scientist in here saying, this is what's happening, you raise your pH level, your pain receptors don't work. He's just saying all the stuff that happened that I'd been doing for all the time. And I already felt the benefits. I already felt like I was fit, fighting again, but all I was doing was breathing and getting in the ice. But after that scientist told me, wow, this is what's happening. I thought, shit, for my family, for my friends, for my gym, I have to follow this man through right to the end. So I got home from this 5-hour workshop, and I jumped on my phone and I started trying to join the advanced course in Holland that I got accepted to like 6 months ago. They're like, nah, sorry, Jason, it's full. It's all full. I went home. I had about 3 different emails from the Wim Hof Academy in the fire. And I emailed them every day. Oh, please let me join. I'm the biggest follower in New Zealand. All my students are doing it. Da, 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 da. No, sorry. No, Jason. No, Jason. We're adamant. No, Jason. It's already full. It's already full. On the 7th day, I'd probably sent about 20 emails to these 3 emails I had. One of them said, okay, Jason, we've opened up a space for you. So I booked, went to Holland for 2 days, did the advance, got accepted to do the masters, which was become an instructor. I booked that straight away, didn't waste time. I didn't care about the money. And then I went to Poland and spent a week with Wim and his top instructors and did my masters, then came back. And that's another thing that I love doing, is sharing this amazing method, because I know it's so good for your health and it's so simple.
You've moved from a focus on being the best at combat to healing people. I find that like quite an interesting
the opposite.
Yeah, you're going from hurting people to healing people. Is that like an intentional thing? You want to like balance your karma out?
No, it wasn't intentional. It was so the Wim Hof thing came to as a tool for my fighters to use in the ring, and to share with people, because I just know it works. I know how amazing I've felt since I've met it, which is 4 years ago, 4 years ago. And so it just happened, man. It just happened. The time came, my age came, and yeah.
For those who aren't familiar with the Wim Hof Method, tell us quickly about it.
So there's 3 pillars to the Wim Hof Method. It's mindset, and it's just dedication, meditation. Meditation helps you dedicate yourself. Cold exposure, the benefits of cold exposure, and this particular way of breathing. That is a way to breathe for 10 to an hour a day, but not the way to breathe throughout your life, throughout your day. But it's amazing. It's really amazing. It's a boost to your immune system. It gives you mental strength, mental clarity. Yeah.
And you're passionate about mainstreaming it. Do you think society, like, generally is bad for our health, like the way the modern world is?
Is it bad for your health?
Yeah, I feel like everything is like junk food and social media and being on your app and being sedentary. And
yes, well, so I mean, what's out there? If you, there is so much. What I'd say, things that are legitimate, that are accessible to all of us. If you're not smart, it's totally bad for you. But if you're smart, you got to pick and choose. You got to pick and choose your food, because there is probably more shit out there than good for you.
Yeah, I agree.
But there is good out there too.
Yeah. I mean, you know me, man, but like I go on a lot about we need to make stuff like Wim Hof cool and accessible. We need to make stuff like Muay Thai and training and going to a counselor. And I really appreciate you sharing your story about that. Cool, particularly for like young people, you know what I mean? Because I feel like there's so much temptation to get into trouble. Like we kind of glorify drugs and junk food and booze and all the bad shit and the stuff that
there's a lot more negative options out there than there used to be.
Yeah. As a parent now, because that's the last part of your chapter that I want to talk about, do you worry about that? Like, how do you protect your kids from all the temptations out there?
No, I do. I do. We've done so well with Yuki. Like, she's good, man. She's a good girl.
For anyone who's not familiar, Yuki's your teenage daughter, right? She's gone to university. Yeah.
She's 18, and she's grown into a beautiful young adult. Like, blows my mind, which is really cool. Me and Anna are really happy with that. With the younger ones, so we don't have a TV. We haven't had a TV for 10 months now. We're not going to get another TV. We have the iPads, we have the computer, we have a projector that connects to Netflix, Wi-Fi, Disney Channel that they get to watch in the weekends. They get to watch it every day if they want to over lockdown. So we're just with the phones and that, I've had people say, "Oh, does Manai have a phone?" I said, "Mate, he's 7 years old. Of course he doesn't have a phone, and he's not getting a phone." And our rule with Yuki, she didn't get a phone. She got a phone when she went to intermediate. And the only reason we gave her a phone, we planned at 16, and I think she got it at 14 because it was at when we were intermediate and everyone had a phone. So we didn't want her to be
the odd one out, eh?
To be the odd one out.
Yeah.
So we gave her a phone 2 years ahead of our plan time. And well, I think we'll do the same with our babies now, with Manai and Kenny. They're 5 and 7. Phoenix, 8. I think they'll have to wait till they're intermediate.
Yeah. Phoenix is, I'm sure, because he's been, you've been on national news with your story with Phoenix. Your child, Phoenix, was born with
severe brain damage over all parts of his brain. He, at some stage in the womb, oxygen didn't get to his brain, and no one can explain it, what happened.
I'm sorry. I've followed that journey, like I'm sure a lot of people have. You've done stem cell treatment and basically every sort of treatment out there. How has that affected Phoenix's development?
The stem cell treatment was amazing, has been amazing. So we've done it like 3 or 4 times with the help of everyone. We just did fundraisers because it's like about 30 grand a pop when we go, but it was amazing. So the first time we got some of his own stem cells from his own cord blood that we'd saved in America, and we've saved a little bit more, hoping that, because it's best to use your own. So he only ever used to cry, never used to laugh. After the first time, he came back with a laugh, so we'd all be chasing a laugh. Now he has different sounds, he has different boos, so we know different like boos and cries, so we know when he's upset, when there's something in pain, and we know when he just wants you to come and have a look at him. Maybe he's fallen off the pillow, or maybe doesn't like the channel that he's watching or what he's watching. So stem cells have been amazing for us. Amazing. Those little different sounds and getting them, who'd never laughed and having a laugh, and he never used to sleep through the night. He'd wake between 3 to 18 times, and every time was 5 minutes to 1 hour. That was really horrible. Like, it was horrible. Like, when you don't have sleep, it's horrible. When you don't have sleep for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you're always chasing sleep, it's really, really horrible. So having them sleep through the night was gold, man. Like gold. Our house became a lot warmer, you know?
Yeah, I can imagine. How has parenting changed you?
It has, it has made me softer in a good sense, in absolutely good sense. I don't know how to explain it. You're more, what can I say? How do I say softer? You are more compassionate. You see things from other people's side more. I guess that's all.
Because you used to be, like you said at the start of the story that you've been sharing, you used to be a bit of a violent man, an angry man, and you used to spend a lot of your time pursuing violence, not just in the ring, but in the street. And
yeah,
now here you are healing people with Wim Hof and breath work, and talking about being compassionate and gentler. And I find that like a really inspiring story, and I'm really grateful that you've been sharing that, because I wonder, how do we help young men, and this is a question now, how do you think we help young men avoid some of the pitfalls that you might have got caught up in? Like, what do we need to let them know? What do we need to give them to stop them getting into trouble in the first place?
You've got to, well, one thing for me, what would help is you got to show that walking away or not fucking beating up someone for saying something wrong for you or looking at you the wrong way is not weak, that it's cool, that you can still be tough and still be compassionate and respectful. I don't know, you just got to teach them that. You have to let them know what their options are.
Yeah, and because at the moment I feel like they know all the bad options, but not so much the good ones.
Yeah, just got to, I think just be more to just give people more information, and especially our youth.
Yeah, I think that we need to do a better job of not just making awareness around things like mental health or alcohol and drugs are bad for you, but how do we help people get into a Muay Thai gym that's got like a respectful coach? Or how do you get people into a program about breath work or meditation? And if they can't afford it, fund it or do it for free. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that would be a really good, tangible thing that would do a
I
lot of
agree.
good.
I agree, and it'd be good to have the people that can't afford it with some option or some help to get help so that they can go through it. Because it might be that guy that can't afford to go that would have got the most benefit out of it, more than the guy that could afford to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be good to give the option available for everyone, rich or poor.
Yeah, I agree, brother.
Money, yeah.
Hey, I've taken enough of your time. I really appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to talk with me. Is there anything you want to share before we peace out?
No, can't think of anything. Oh, okay. No, all good.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Hardcore.
No, my pleasure, man. You've lived an inspiring life, and you continue to change lives as a Wim Hof instructor and as a Muay Thai coach and as a promoter. You know, you're giving young fighters this national and international platform. So thank you for everything you do, man, both personally for me in my life, and then for all the other young people that you've touched.
Thanks, Hardcore.
We'll continue to touch. All right, brother. You take care.
Okay, brother. See you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Peace.